You know, you guys, being the NBA and basketball fans that we all are, I think that most of you watching this video will know as well as I do, is that if there's one thing the NBA community loves to do more than anything else, it is most certainly our tendency to overreact. Now, whether it be a simple one-game overreaction or one that seems to be stretched out more than anybody could have anticipated, there's one in particular that's been catching my eye quite a bit recently, and honestly, I feel like now is the perfect time to talk about this, which is none other than what's going on between James Harden, Joel Embiid, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Because long story short, you guys, it seems like there is a massive snowball effect overtaking this team being caused by the NBA media, when in reality, what's currently going on in Philly is so much simpler than people make it out to be, so let's get into it. One sec though, guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you that haven't yet, I am highly encouraging you to do so, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for any of you that do, thank you so much. But anyway, for anyone who has even relatively been keeping up with James Harden over the course of the last couple of years, I mean, you all probably know that even before the blockbuster trade went down to send him to the Philadelphia 76ers, that the consensus idea revolving around Harden, again, at least in the eyes of the mainstream media, that he is bound to, and if not already has been going through, a massive decline in his play. I mean, seriously, aside from some massive breakout performances from him throughout this season, specifically when he got to Philly, really all you guys will see about Harden in the headlines is him playing below expectations as if he's being compared to his 2018 MVP campaign. And yes, even though this does get annoying, you can see the points that they're making if you're looking specifically at his ability to score, but I think that we can all be real that the scoring aficionado that once was James Harden that could do this on a night in and night out basis will likely never be seen again. Because when you do look at the comparisons that are just 3 years apart, yes, there is a pretty substantial difference not just in scoring but in the shooting efficiencies as well. But the thing is about the media is that they will take what I'm showing you right now, they will run with this for an argument, and that will be the end of it. They will not cover anything else that Harden is doing. But when you really look at their situation, Harden is doing almost exactly what this team needs in order to be the best version of themselves possible. Because like we mentioned previously, Harden will have that game from time to time where he has a breakout performance, but it has been clear as day, and it's only becoming more adamant throughout the playoffs, that the core proponent of James Harden's play is not necessarily going to be his own scoring, more so it will be his continued ability to set up his teammates. Because honestly, I have a feeling that some people watching this video somehow don't know this yet, but you guys, it wouldn't be a stretch in the slightest to say that James Harden might be one of the best playmakers that the game has to offer today. And again, while some people might have been under the impression that the Sixers pulled the trigger on this trade to acquire the scorer in James Harden, when the playmaker in James Harden was precisely what they wanted. And it's crazy to me because again, like we mentioned, all we've been seeing about James Harden is how he continues to decline as the years go on, while when you actually do some research into it, his playmaking has increased profoundly in the same stretch of time this has happened. And even with this increased playmaking, as you can see, he has already averaged over 10 assists per game over the course of the last 2 full seasons. It has been even more impressive to me the level of instant chemistry that Harden has built with this team. Because while only having just around 40 games under his belt with the Philadelphia 76ers, Harden is already showcasing the best playmaking of his entire career when you take into consideration his assist to turnover ratio. And when you compare it in specific to last year, it's clear we're seeing him at a level that we never have before. It's just always so crazy to me when people decide to pick and choose what they want to talk about and discredit the rest, because Harden has been a prime example of that over the last 2 years. But however, when his transcendency shows within his play, it's a whole different story story in the media. Like for example, the first 2 games of this Eastern Conference semifinal with the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Miami Heat, it didn't seem pretty, I'll leave it at that, as without Joel Embiid, Harden did not drop 30 to 40 points as most people were expecting him to do. And I know that you guys know after those first 2 games, the James Harden slander was pretty high. But of course, after that, the next 2 games come and go, it's a 2-2 series and Harden has an absolute breakout game in Game 4. Now believe me, I am not trying to say this and pose as a James Harden stan and tell you to lay off of his back. I just think that it needs to be made clear to everybody that the same expectations that once were on James Harden are not nearly to that same degree nowadays. And with that point that's trying to be made clear, Joel Embiid even hit on that to the T in one of his recent post-game interviews when speaking on the transcendency of James Harden and the type of player he's transitioning into nowadays. Embiid stated, quote, "That is the reason why he's here. Since he's gotten here, he's been adjusting based on what we need from him every night, whether that's playmaking or simply just going out and getting a bucket." I mean, personally, when I'm looking at this team myself, I would much rather have this version of James Harden they have right now as opposed to the scorer that once was in the 2018 to 19 seasons. Now that may sound crazy when I originally say that, but really it's all about hindsight with the ebbs and flows of every given team. Like, I'm not trying to say that this team wouldn't be successful if that version of James Harden was here, but it seems like some people are still waiting on that version of James Harden to show up, when in the grand scheme of things, if he keeps doing what he's doing right now and improving where this team needs him most, this team is going to be just fine with Harden as the second star, even though some people might not want to tell you that. But as far as all the overreactions go regarding James Harden's quote-unquote decline, do I ever think that they're going to go away? You know, to be honest with you, as long as his tenure lasts in Philadelphia, probably not. But what are you going to do? I mean, that's just how the NBA world works. But now, with everything I've mentioned regarding James Harden in Philly, I now want to hear what you guys have to think about their situation. So please let me know in the comments, do you think the duo of James Harden and Joel Embiid will be able to win a championship together in their tenure? And also, from an overall standpoint, I honestly want to know, do you guys think James Harden has drastically declined over the last couple of years? But also though guys, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I cannot say it enough, you guys, we're coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week around here, so just believe me when I say it, you do not want to miss out. But again, you guys, thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate you guys more than anything, you all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.